Evening guys, how's it going? I had a video ready to upload tonight, but I am putting that on hold because some news came my way. I think it was Tuesday. I got a notification on here. One of my subscribers commented on a video I did on the movie short film review of Blight, and my subscriber, his name's Galansky. How you doing, Galansky? Good to talk to you the other night. Anyway, Galansky brought it to my attention that the early reviews are out for the Colour Out of Space movie starring Nicolas Cage, and he sent me a link to Mr. H's channel. I've mentioned Mr. H's channel before, and I went over, and it's looking pretty good. Some of the reviews, he described it as mixed to positive. Now, that's good in my opinion, because it could have turned out terrible. But the general consensus of most of these reviews is that it's looking pretty good. And I was scanning through them, and I'm going to read one of my favourites that I found, and it's from the Hollywood Reporter. I'm going to read a few bits of it to you, so you can get the idea of what we're in store for. So let me find that now. And it says, making the switch over from H.G. Wells to H.P. Lovecraft, director Richard Stanley comes back from the 1996 debacle of losing his long-cherished project, The Island of Dr. Moreau. I mentioned that in the when I told you all about the fact they're making this film. His new Colour Out of Space is a satisfying shot at bringing a classic of the sci-fi horror genre to modern audiences. Though updated with internet and cell phones that receive alien babble at all the wrong moments, it's surprisingly faithful to Lovecraft's original story, The Colour Out of Space, published in Amazing Stories magazine in 1927. That's a good sign. When it's saying surprisingly faithful, that's always a good sign, I think. Of the many short stories that the cult writer penned in his life, this was his personal favourite. Centred around evil aliens that invade the Earth as an eerie, non-existent colour, it has stretched the imagination of readers and filmgoers alike and has enjoyed many screen adaptations, beginning with the 1965 film Die Monster Die, starring Boris Karloff. I've never heard of that. I'll have to look into that. Hitting the main plot points with well-designed SFX and some impressive night photography, Stanley's film manages to be frightening indeed. Even with star Nicolas Cage's semi-farcical leavening adding some nutty laughs. RLJE Films, who did quite well with Cage's bloody revenge tale Mandy. I'm going to be watching that soon. Yeah, I'm going to do a video about Mandy soon, if you ain't seen that. Hold on, where was I got to? Confirmed US release just as the film bowed at the TIFF's Midnight's Madness tank. Flipping out. Nathan Gardner, your main character, has just moved his brood to the Massachusetts sticks. In fact, to Arkham, the dark city often featured in Lovecraft stories. Blithely unaware of this, Nathan and his wife Teresa have renovated his father's old farmhouse with modern taste and comfort. He grows tomatoes in the garden, and back in the barn he's busy raising, wait for it, alpacas. I don't think alpacas were mentioned in the story, but that's fine, you know what I mean? Which even his kids think is ridiculous. A symbol of Nathan's basic unfitness as a farmer. The woolly creatures become a running gag. I'm not sure I like the sound of that. A gag, you know, comedy. I'm not sure I'm keen on that element, but go on. Meanwhile, Teresa struggles to keep in touch with her clients over the house's dicey internet system while recovering from breast cancer operation. They're an offbeat couple you can't help but like, even when everything you know about horror films tells you to keep your distance. The three kids are in various phases of rural adjustment. While oft stoned, Benny dutifully feeds the alpacas. Teenage Lavinia has a rebellious streak and is a practicing Wiccan, which is presented in a rather positive light as an empowering woman thing. she's in the middle of a magic ritual by the river to heal her sick mum when she's interrupted by a good-looking young surveyor sent to test the water levels. Ward. Ward will stand in as narrator and witness of the horrors to follow. Completing this basically lovable family is little Jack, who already earned his horror stripes in the recent The Haunting of Hill House. That was that TV series, wasn't it? I haven't watched that yet. I don't know if it's Lovecraftian or not, but if it is, I'll tell you all about it. You've probably watched it by now. I'm way behind. Anyway, I'm rambling. A sweet mama's boy who was first to get hypnotised by the colour. It lands one night inside a steaming red-hot ball near a well in the front of the yard. Nathan calls in Arkham's sheriff and the mayor, who gets Ward's educated opinion that they're probably dealing with a meteorite. But according to the old hippie Ezra, who lives in the woods, something has gone seriously wrong with nature, an idea that shifts the tale into modern ecological disaster territory. Don't know about that. You can't trust the earth anymore. Flash lightning storms, tropical creepers and radios going berserk are added to other inexplicable phenomena. Jack starts talking to someone in the apparently empty well, and a huge mutant praying mantis flies out in brilliant colours. Alright, the family dog goes missing. Nathan's crop of giant tomatoes ripens early but taste horrible. Mushrooms sprout in vivid fuchsia, and the water turns poisonous. Good thing that Ward, a hydrologist, decides not to drink it. Too bad for the gardeners. I've read this already. I didn't remember every little aspect of it, but I'm just picking up on the certain bits I didn't like and the certain bits I did. Too bad for the garden. In a truly scary shower scene, Nathan discovers his arm is turning scaly. He's also starting to become hypnotised by waves of colour on the TV set, and he's getting much weirder than he already was. Nicolas Cage is awesome at being weird. I'm sure you all know that. Some of his some of the scenes in films where he goes a bit mental. It's great. It's a bit campy and a bit, can be a bit cringy, but he does it better than anyone. All of this is a bit random and haphazard, but it's clearly leading up to something, and that something is the payoff. When the colour decides to let go, there's no stopping it, and one by one the members of the family are made to feel its power. The dog reappears as a mutant monster, and the alpacas turn into melted cheese. The family starts losing their minds. Nathan crosses the line when he goes all hysterical and begins locking up broken loved ones in the attic. Now there's a lot of Lovecraft-esque films and things, that sort of type of thing, locking people up in the attic. Yeah, a lot of sound like that. It's hard to depict a scary colour. Yeah, I damn well. There's not. What I mean? When the writers of this film, what do you do? What do you come up with? And it's not a colour that exists. So the human mind can't even think of it. But sorry, that was just me rambling. It's hard to depict a scary colour, particularly one that has never been seen before and is outside the visual spectrum. But DP Steve Annis takes a valiant stab at shades of pinkish violet that swirl through the air like a pastel fog. The film also does a good job of suggesting horrid things, mangled bodies, radiation burns and mutated animals, without fully showing them. There you go. That's the key. You don't show everything. That's the key there. Like a lot of Lovecraft's tales, it just gives you the description of them, and it's never fully realised. You know what I mean? The mind can come up with a lot more horrendous and hideous things than special effects can. Without fully showing them, leaving much to the imagination. Only in the final explosive blowout do the special effects people go for broke. No more subtlety needed. And that's where the review ends. But it's sounding good. It sounded good. I truly can't wait to see this. I really can't. And yeah, I say I did a video about 6 or 7 months ago when I found out about they were making this film, and I couldn't wait to tell everyone. Not that many people see it, but even if one person finds out about it, and from me telling them. But anyway, like I said, I didn't even know these reviews were out. It's all thanks to Galansky. Thanks again to him. But he told me about it. You know what I mean? So yeah, but it's all good. It's all looking good, and I look forward to seeing it. Anyway, I'll leave it there for now. Thanks for listening, guys, and I'll speak to you soon. Cheerio.